There's a lot going on in uptown Harrisburg.
5 minutes, 5 minutes.
Just before 9 every morning. Birds are chirping, dogs are walking, flags are flapping.
3 minutes, 3 minutes.
On a good day, the sun shines, but even if it doesn't, there's warmth here.
Morning, Dave.
As coronavirus was taking off in the U.S., a tradition was taking hold on 2nd Street.
We're the only two out there the first morning, but one of our neighbors across the street looked at us and said, "What are you guys doing?"
Mark and Sherry Bennington were ground zero. They started something infectious, and it quickly spread.
You can come join us. And then another neighbor, and pretty soon the whole neighborhood was coming out at 9 o'clock.
Actually, they get there early, wearing their masks and keeping their distance.
It's the morning check-in that we have every day, and it may be the only time of the day that we see somebody other than our own family members. For us, it's community.
Everybody ready?
But at 9, the small talk stops.
I pledge allegiance to the flag.
It's just become a part of our daily routine. We schedule all of our morning activities around the 9 o'clock Pledge of Allegiance.
Some days, the routine is enhanced. On this day, a friend of a neighbor added her voice.
God bless America.
And on Easter, Mark and Sherry added color beyond red, white, and blue.
Well, let's put on our Easter outfit that we were going to wear to church and walk outside and do the pledge, and we came back in and went to church on the TV.
Coronavirus has succeeded in taking lives and forcing us apart. But uptown Harrisburg is proof the virus has failed at dividing us.
We always had a tight neighborhood, but this has brought us even closer.
It's really a simple thing. Again, it only takes a few minutes every morning for us to do this, and it allows us a little bit of normalcy in a very abnormal time.
You could say it's one neighborhood, indivisible.
With liberty and justice for all.
Knoebel's amusement park might be its most famous attraction, but Elysburg is home to a lesser-known haunt.
It's a monastery.
Its chaplain is Father John Zeta, who says Mass every morning in Latin.
It's an experience of holiness, an experience of silence, an experience of union with God.
Helping believers find God is one part of Zeta's job. Chasing away the devil is another.
The bishop said to me, I have something I'd like to tell you. I'd like you to be my exorcist. That was it.
That was 2011. There were about 15 exorcists in America then. There are more than 100 now. They attend a yearly conference in the U.S. to share tips and trade secrets. Every 2 years, it's off to Rome for the International Conference of Exorcists, endorsed by Pope Francis.
The name of the exorcist is submitted to Rome. It's kept on file in Rome.
Have you ever seen a demonic possession?
Oh, absolutely. More than one.
Job one, Zeta says, is ruling out mental illness, which weeds out many claims. But there are rare instances.
A case where a person was possessed, and it literally took 4 full-grown men to hold the person down.
Another didn't know Latin, but answered Zeta's questions fluently in Latin. Work of the devil, he insists. And then the local girl with seizures.
The doctors couldn't figure out what was going on. Tranquilizers were not working. They stepped out to consult. They came back in and found her climbing up the wall, literally, like Spider-Man.
In the name of the Father!
Zeta says the Exorcist movie is fairly accurate, minus the head spinning. The church has guidelines on how to perform exorcisms. There's prayer and ritual. The bishop must approve each case.
It burns!
The possessed rarely approve.
When you sprinkle holy water on a person, then they really react. Pretty good clue that this was demonic.
The notion that there are spirits that can take over our body, personally, that doesn't make sense to me. But it's also really, really fascinating. Any questions?
Professor Matthew Sayers teaches religion at Lebanon Valley College.
I'll take this thing from Christianity.
He was raised Catholic, is now an atheist who doesn't believe in demonic possession, but understands why the Vatican does.
Having an exorcist in every diocese is literally just having a safety plan in place, having a fire extinguisher in every sort of hallway in the building. We've got one there just in case something comes up.
The ancient art of exorcism is needed in modern times more than ever, according to the Vatican, which says possessions are at an all-time high.
Saint Michael the Archangel.
At every Mass, Catholics are now praying to Saint Michael the Archangel.
Cast into hell Satan and all the evil spirits.
The prayer specifically asks for protection from the devil.
Amen.
Have you been face-to-face with the devil?
Oh, yeah.
And Zeta says he's never scared because God works through him, and God is stronger than Satan.
There's people watching that's going to say, this guy's nuts.
Thank you.
Erica Beers loves her serene setting, even if serenity is hard to find.
Okay, let's do it.
She has one career, 3 kids, 2 in school, and 0 reliable internet.
Which is problematic for me, especially because I work for a company that hosts live conferences. And it's problematic for my kids because they can't attend school online.
Erica and her husband tried to pay to hardwire their home for better connectivity. The first quote was $10 grand. Before they could say yes,
they came back with a price of $68,000. Let's work together, okay?
So for Erica and countless other parents trying to teach their children well,
Is it too loud?
No.
it's a juggle and a struggle.
I pay someone to come here every day and help my kids with their schoolwork. And I go to my best friend's house and sit outside on their porch in every kind of weather, and I work there.
Now, some will say that this issue is simply about getting Netflix into every home, and I say to you, nothing could be further from the truth.
State Senator Kristen Phillips-Hill is trying to merge all Pennsylvanians onto the information superhighway. She estimates millions are unserved or underserved, and not just rural residents.
There are still students in the city of Philadelphia who is now all virtually being educated who can't get on the internet.
And she can't fix it, Phillips-Hill was once told by a colleague.
When I first embarked on trying to find a solution to this issue, he told me it was a fool's errand, you'll never get anything done.
But 4 hearings across the state, a special commission, and this 220-page report later, solutions are in sight. One bill steers tax credits to incentivize companies to hook up ignored customers. Another would eliminate regulations like maintaining landline telephones.
Hello?
The dodo birds of 2020.
They are still required by state law to provide that service all across the Commonwealth and invest in that infrastructure at great expense to them, which means that money is not being invested into the services that people not only want, but they also need.
Where there's electric poles and wires, there could easily be internet. But it's not so easy.
If a rural electric cooperative wants to run a line of broadband, they have to go back and renegotiate all of their right-of-way agreements.
So another bill would cut that red tape. The problem hits rural and urban, Democrat and Republican alike. That should help Phillips-Hill push the legislation. But Erica has kids to educate now, and she's heard political promises in the past.
The legislation is too slow to have any meaningful impact for us.